It's always good to be prepared, always good to have this little emergency kit for your bows, sight tapes, D-loop material, an extra rest. Wherever you go with your bow, if you have one kit, it's just gonna make you more confident in the woods and you're not gonna worry about your equipment. You'll never have to second guess yourself. What's going on, everyone? Chris B here. We're out in Utah with the Sitka crew. We're shooting some bows. And this is something that I always carry with me. And it's one of those things, wherever I have my bow, I have this kit. And once you have it fully set up, you really don't have to worry about it too much. So this is my archery emergency kit. I take this same kit with me if I'm on like a backpack hunt or like a total archery challenge or anything where it's, if something, a little emergency happens, just do a quick little fix. So we're gonna dive in here. First thing, we're gonna have our sight tapes. Sight tapes are really important. You know, sometimes your poundage could get tweaked a little bit, strings could stretch, and then all of a sudden you're shooting a different feet per second, and you gotta just toggle over a sight tape, one or the other. Typically, if you're at a camp or something, you can just get there, check in your bow, and be like, oh, you know, I'm a yard off or whatever. You can quickly just change out your sight tapes. We have this little caliper thing to help with that, depending on what sight I'm running. So I always keep one of those little things with me. And then to stay on the sight train, I have a HHA dial setup always with me, so I don't have to mess around with switching out the setup tape on the dial. I just have this dial. I can easily swap it on and off. And then also when I'm in camp, if I do end up changing my sight tape, a lot of times on the HHA dials or any sort of sight, I just overlay my sight tape on top of it. I don't take it off. I don't move it. I just put the new one on in the correct place, just in case later in the hunt, for some reason, I have to go back to it. All I have to do is peel it away, and I kind of have that manipulation there to kind of mess around with that. I also have an extra rangefinder. I don't know why, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna throw in an extra rangefinder, mainly because if I ever lose it, you know, you have them on these tethers on your Bino harness, but I always feel like, you know, maybe this could get cut or snagged or caught in a door and you leave, and I'm just always paranoid about that, because if you don't know your range, you're in trouble. So I always have an extra rangefinder with me. I also have a bunch of little knick-knack screws that go on my Mathews. You just never know, like maybe a mod screw rattles loose, or you need an extra set screw, and you can't find these in a pinch. So I always have a little baggie, a bunch of extra little screws. And then we have our Mathews little fail-safe bow press. So new on the Phase 4s, obviously, they put the little dimples on the cam where you can actually press your bow, you can change out your strings, you can put a twist in it. Let's say my Peep sight's a little crooked or whatever, I want to fix that. You can change it super easily. So bow press and a flash. Up next, we have just a little bit, you know, maybe 2 feet, 3 feet of D-loop material. Now, D-loop material can, honestly, it's really versatile. It's obviously D-loop material, so if you need to change your D-loop out, you can do that, but it's also can be changed out your rest cord. If you have a drop away rest, you can do that. And also, it's just, you could maybe just need some rope. You got some extra rope, so I always try to keep a decent amount, honestly. There's a good amount in here, but I also have an extra rest. This might be a little bit extra, but it's such a sensitive part of the bow, and I put this kit together on my moose hunt, and it's like, we're really remote, and I have one bow, and the most important thing is like your peep sight and your rest and your sight housing. So I just threw in an extra little QAD here just in case. It was like, wow, I broke my rest because I ran it over with a side-by-side or did something like that. So throwing that in is also super, super important. I have a little set of pliers, very wimpy little cheap set of pliers, but super important to have that. Stretching out a D-loop, you know, doing any sort of work on your bow. A lighter for burning and working on your bow. It's always good to have a lighter. Even if like your serving starts to fray a little bit, you can just tie it, burn it shut instead of redoing it. You can kind of just put a quick little fail-safe on it. Also, this is kind of a big fail-safe, but I made up an extra set of strings with a peep sight already installed in the correct position and tied in. So this, like I said, I kind of set up for my moose hunt, and this was like if everything hit the fan and somehow my bowstrings got chopped, I could maybe get it back together. I have extra peep sight. You just never know. It's one of the most vulnerable part of the bows. I have a little extra peep sight in there. And then I guess this is my third release. I always keep 3 releases with me. This one will stay in my backpack or back in the truck in this bin. But I have that. And I also have this single little Allen wrench, I believe for the top hats, because it's if I ever need to do something with that. And then we have serving material. Also a very, very versatile thing. You can do so much with serving material, repairing on the strings or whatever, if you need to do anything in a pinch. And typically on the UltraView scopes, I'll have an extra cartridge. So I'll just have an extra pin cartridge system in here, just in case, like if a branch gets jammed in there and it cracks off the post or something, I just have an extra cartridge. I can very quickly swap it out, put a new one in, and I'm back up and running. Also, I keep a couple things on my Bino harness. If it's like a extreme mountain hunt, I'll actually put another gear pouch right here, and I'll keep like a multi-tool and a couple other little things if I have to do something in a pinch. But I always keep a set of Allen wrenches right on my binos. Never know if something's gonna come loose, like if it's your stabilizer bracket or something, you can just tighten it down in a pinch. Obviously have my release right in my side pocket right here, Rangefinder binos. But then in the front right here, I always have Blistex, and then I also have a extra battery for my rangefinder. Super, super important. I don't know how many times I've been like going up to range, it's like, wow, my rangefinder's dead. Sometimes I just die, and it's always good to have an extra one of those. And then also I have a backup release always ready, just because you never know, it could get snagged, it could get lost. So this is zipped away just in case I'm in a pinch and I need it. And then last but not least, a little bit of serving material, just in case I need to fix something in a pinch. So it's always good to be prepared, always good to have this little emergency kit. Obviously, if you're doing some sort of truck hunting, you can have maybe like a go box or something where you have a little bit more gear, you know, extra broadheads and all that jazz. But really for a fail-safe, wherever you go with your bow, if you have one kit where it's like, man, just need to fix this little thing, it's so nice, so convenient. I even did it on this trip. I just put some fresh strings on. You know, we came here, we did a little bit of shooting, and I didn't tie in my Peep correctly all the way, so I just redid it, tied it, add serving material, lighter, everything right here. So it's super, super nice to have this little kit. More than anything, it's a confidence boost. You go out in the woods, you know, maybe it's a hunt of a lifetime, you have this little kit that you bring with you. It's just going to make you more confident in the woods, and you're not going to worry about your equipment. You'll be able to double check it. You'll never have to second guess yourself. So really important. Challenge you guys to put together your own archery emergency kit, because you never know when things could go sideways.